Hey everybody, Laura Fangman here with today's Mash the Button Community Connection Edition. Today we are at Kids Central Pediatrics with Dr. James. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about who you are and where we are today?
We're at my practice. This is Kids Central Pediatrics. I'm Dr. Cliff James. I am originally from the middle of nowhere, outside, about 3 hours north of Amarillo, Texas. Did my medical school at Texas Tech, did residency in Cleveland, Ohio.
You're a pediatrician.
I'm a pediatrician.
Standard office, but somewhat unconventional, I think, maybe to some people who are looking at you?
Oh, yeah, because of the way I dress. I had come from a place where we had children's hospital, and so it was very pediatric-y. And so I wanted to do something that was a little more pediatric friendly, and so decided to go out on my own. My first office was as good as we could make it with no money, and then about 5 years later we outgrew that practice and then had a chance to come in and build our own the way that we wanted to. So I built it as the world's largest toy box. And when I started my own practice, I really hated ties, so I got rid of the ties. And then it wasn't too long before I got rid of the shirts. And then I went to jeans. And then I went to shorts, and sometimes flip-flops. And what I found along the line was when I first started, I almost never saw a dad. You would see him when the baby was born, and then after that, they never showed up. And as I started dressing worse and worse, the dads started showing up more and more. This has probably been the biggest evolution over the last 21 years is the difference in fathers. From 21 years ago, guys not even knowing how to change a diaper, to now the dads oftentimes are bringing their kids in as often as the moms are. So
wow, that's a huge change.
It is a huge change, and it's been very cool. Before, I was always messing up white shirts with betadine or something like that. And this way I don't rent a lot of clothes. I get to be comfortable. The kids think it's funny, and the parents, you know, they seem to enjoy it as well. I like babies the best because one, I like babies. And two, when you have them as a newborn, you have a way to teach them how medicine works. And so, you know, and how you work. And part of, you know, my pediatric experience is I love to teach. I love to teach them so that they know what to expect. And so, like, if they come in with a cold, you know, teach them what the normal mechanism of a cold is going to be, what the course is going to be, what to expect at certain times, that, you know, knowledge is power. If they have that knowledge, then they go home and they sleep better because they know, okay, I don't have to worry about this unless this happens. But then if that happens, they also know what to do and what to expect.
So you're really empowering parents.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's kind of going back to like, you know, 30, 40 years ago. Everybody knew how to take care of their kids. And then we somehow convinced parents that they needed to come into the doctor for everything. And then we started forcing parents to come in for everything so that they needed doctor's notes and stuff like that. And so my thing was to teach them so they didn't have to spend so much money.
Wow. And obviously that's been a reasonable business model for you.
It's been a great business model.
What's kept you here? What do you like about being here and having your practice here that makes this a great place to be?
Lots of reasons. I mean, the people are great. I mean, you know, it's not too far different. You know, where I came from, you know, it was country and people were very, very friendly. And you get that the same here. I just found that they've all become extensions of my family. I really like them. You
mentioned that you see children, but up to the age of 23.
Up to the age of 23. Now, you kind of have to set some rules. So our rules is that we'll see you until you're 23, as long as you're in school, don't get married, and don't have any kids. Well, the reason we see them, you know, past 18 is because a lot of those kids, they're in college, they're going away to school, and then coming back to their parents' house for the summer or whatever. It doesn't make any sense to find a new doctor in Knoxville or Oak Ridge just for those 3 months.
Right.
And so it's just easier for them.
That makes sense.
I love newborns and I love kindergarten physicals. Newborns because it's the one time I feel like I can help the parents the most because they come in and they're just terrified, and you know, you can calm them down and you can watch them come in and they're all tired and hormonal and scared. And if you do this right, by the time they leave, you get to see them relax and calm down and smile. Kindergartners I like because you never know what they're going to say, and there's a good chance they're going to embarrass their parents.
That never happens.
Yeah.
If someone were watching this video and could take nothing but one thing from it, what would you like people to know?
About parenting?
Sure.
Probably trust their instincts. Parents will typically almost always know that their kid is sick. It's when they try and make the diagnosis that they're terrible. So, you know, I have lots of people come in and they'll say that their kid has strep throat. Well, they won't end up with strep throat, they'll end up with something else. But they did have something else. Their kid was sick. And so a lot of times, especially with little babies, you know, pediatrics is a lot like veterinary medicine. Your patients don't talk. they bite, and the hardest part about them is their parents. So they're not going to be able to tell you that they're sick. They have these little subtle things, and parents are actually really, really good about picking up that something's wrong with their kid.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is trust that.
That's very good advice.
I try. You know, I have another company called helpmommy.com. And so what it is it's parenting video. I noticed that parents kept coming in and it was the same questions. And for the most part, I was just giving advice. I wasn't writing a prescription. They didn't need medicine. They were coming in for a cold, or they were coming in for a GI bug or something like that. And they really just needed advice. So I found myself saying the same things over and over and over again for things that they really should have been able to take care of at home. And I was trying to teach them when they would come in, and they'd get this little snippet of pediatric advice, but it was going to end up being a very expensive education. And so I came up with this idea that I could take the most common questions that parents had, answer it in a video form, so that they could go to it, and they could watch it, and they could decide from that whether they need to go to the emergency room, go to the doctor's office, or maybe just take care of it at home. So my whole goal was just to save people time, money, and worry. And so that was the basis of that. And then it grew, and so now we have hundreds of videos, and so we have videos covering like each vaccine that kids get. We have the well visits of what to expect when you're going to go in, what your doctor's probably going to do. We have sections where it's just symptoms, so if your kid has a sore throat, you can watch that and try and decide whether that could be strep throat or just a cold. We have videos on the most common illnesses that kids have, injuries. We've had some doctors come in and help us. So we have an orthodontist that talks about braces. We've had an orthopedic surgeon that talks about sports injuries. We have an OB-GYN doctor that she's come in and she's talked about some of the common things that happen with girls in their periods and stuff like that, and the most common complaints. And so we've just tried to make that where people can go to that, and for a very small price, join that subscription site and hopefully save them more money than it's going to cost them in, co-pays and stuff like that, but also just give them that peace of mind of knowing what they're doing. And then from that, we've kind of branched out. I've joined with a doctor in Knoxville, and we have a company called the Potty University. And so on that, we have courses that help with bedwetting and constipation and potty training. And then right now, we're working on a little course that's a little discipline course, where it's a 4-week course that they go through and learn like the different stages that kids go through as far as why they're being bad, why that's normal that a 2-year-old's throwing a temper tantrum, and when that's going to be done, and what kind of rewards and punishments are appropriate for each age.
That is so comprehensive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. So not just your patients here in the office, but anyone who can access the internet has the ability to benefit from your decades of knowledge, and maybe even have their thoughts reinforced or some good information education.
Yeah, and then the other thing with that is when they join our subscription website, we have a private Facebook group. And so in that, we have a weekly live feed that we do. And so we cover different things. So the first, we do it on Thursdays. And so the first Thursday of the month, we do seasonal topics. The next one, we do pediatric illnesses. The third one, we do wellness topics. We talk about vaccines or development and things like that. And then the fourth one of every month is a question and answer. So our members get to submit questions, and then we go through and answer as many as we possibly can. And so it's really cool.
So it's not even a set it and forget it. You are available to these people.
Yeah. They ask questions, and so like sometimes I'm shooting a live feed, at 9 o'clock because the question just got too complicated to sit there and type. So I just click it on my phone and just answer it and have it that way.
Wow. You are certainly in a league of your own here, I think.
I'm probably a little different.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's been a good thing.
That's it for today here at Kids Central Pediatrics. Thanks to Dr. James for the time and the information. I'm Laura Thangman with the Mission Team, and we're on a mission to bring you home.